Our Housing Commission meeting will get called to order at 1:04 p.m. I do want to read the notice of option to recess into executive session to start. So pursuant to ARS section 38-431.02, notice is hereby given to the members of the commission and to the general public that at this regular meeting, the commission may vote to go into executive session, which will not be open to the public, for legal advice and discussion with these attorneys for legal advice on any item listed on the following agenda pursuant to ARS section 38-431.03A3. And the first item on the agenda, now the second item is roll call. So I'll turn that over to Adriana to do roll call if that sounds all right.
Yeah, that's great. Eric Brownfield, Tyler Denham.
Here.
Oh, Tyler.
Yes, here.
Kevin Dobie. Karen Flores.
I'm here.
Danny Flores.
I'm here.
Jackie Kellogg.
I'm here.
Giovanna McLaughlin. Here. Moses Milazzo. Corey Runge.
Here.
Ross Schaefer. Sean Slauson.
Here.
Glenn Slivers. Haley Zaroya.
Here.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I do also want to mention, since we are hybrid today, that if you do want to speak regarding an item on the agenda as a commission member, if you can put a Q or a C in the online comments. I am not logged into that, so I will rely on Adriana to let me know that there is somebody who wants to talk pending, and I will call on you to try and manage the virtual and in person. And if you're here, you can raise your hand and let me know, and then I will call on you as well to try and make sure we don't have folks talking over each other and we can manage the meeting effectively. In addition to that, if you leave the meeting, either virtually or I would see you in person, but if you're going to leave, if you can let us know, we need to keep track of attendance for quorum purposes. And I believe at this meeting, we may have limited commissioners, so we do look forward to maintaining quorum. So we hope that you can commit to being present throughout the meeting. It would be much appreciated. And so hopefully that all those instructions are clear and we're good to move forward. Sound good for you, Adriana?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I do want to mention, we've had a new commissioner come in, so you can say.
Well, hi, I'm Kevin Dobie.
Ah.
Just got to into this.
Awesome, lovely.
Good to be here.
Thanks, Commissioner Dobie, for being here. We appreciate it. Great feeling that you're here. Okay. All right. The third thing on our agenda then is the land acknowledgement, and I will ask if there are any members of the commission who would like to volunteer to read the acknowledgement out loud. Anyone online doing that thing to tell us? All right, so seeing no volunteers, I will do it. The Housing Commission humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by native descendants, border mountains sacred to indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home. All right, number 4 on our agenda is public comment. So at this time, any member of the public may address the commission on any subject within their jurisdiction that is not scheduled before the commission today. Due to open meeting laws, the commission cannot discuss or act on items presented during this portion of the agenda. To address the commission on an item that is on the agenda, please wait for the chair to call for public comment at the time the item is heard if it's already scheduled. So I open it up for public comment and ask Adriana if there's anyone online who has indicated they want to make a public comment.
Councilmember House.
Perfect. Awesome. So I'd like to ask Councilmember House for her public comment.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to the Housing Commission. I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the winner of the housing sticker contest. I know that those stickers are making their way out into the community, but we had an opportunity to recognize that young man at this, not this week's council meeting, but last week's. And it was just really exciting to see such a young person. I believe he's 8 years old. Championing housing in our community and championing the fight against homelessness and unsheltered status. And he had such a meaningful story behind the design of his sticker and his views on creating opportunities for housing for all. That was just a really powerful message to hear from someone so young, and to be advancing the work that you all are doing in such a powerful way. So thank you to you all for being part of that process, and just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember House. Is there anyone else for public comment?
We do not have anybody online or any through email.
And nobody here, I don't believe. So, okay. All right. Item number 5 on the agenda is the approval of minutes. And so you have the minutes in your agenda packet for the meeting that was held on October 26, 2023. I would look for a motion to approve the minutes as presented, or comments, changes.
A motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
I'll
Second.
second. It's Sandy.
Oh, perfect. So, all right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Runge and a second from Commissioner Flores. Is there any discussion, comments? Anything online?
Nothing online.
Okay, so seeing no comments or discussion questions, all those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, thank you so much. That passes. The next item on our agenda is action and discussion items, and this one's easy because there's none. So moving on to item number 7, which is general business. Item A is new housing commissioner and housing intern introductions. So I will turn it over. Adriana, is there anything specific I need to do, or just ask Commissioner Obi to introduce himself?
Yep.
All right, we'll start with you, put you on the hot seat. But if you want to take a moment to tell us a little bit about yourself, that'd be great.
My name is Kevin Goby. I've been in Flagstaff since December of 1991. I've seen a lot of different changes in this community, been both good and not so good. I was very happy to be able to get on this committee because I think we can do wonders here. It's a great opportunity. I have background running a gas station at first, then I worked for Prent Corporation when they came to town. I worked there for 7 years, then I went to Joy Chrome. And after that, I spent my time with Highlands Fire, like 23 years with Highlands Fire as a firefighter, engineer, paramedic. And also worked at the hospital as on the ambulance for 12 years. And next 8 were in the emergency department. I have extensive experience working with the homeless population of the ambulance and in the ER. That really drove me to want to apply for this. I see the needs and I see the differences in the things we've done, and maybe we can do some more and some better things for them. Last election cycle, I ran for council as a write-in ballot. Got 2,044 votes, which doing it all out of my own pocket seemed to be pretty good. But that has inspired me to seek another way to help this community. This community has been great to me since I came here. Love it. Can't go back to Wisconsin where I was born and raised because this community is just so important. My son was raised here. He's in the Air Force now. He's been in for 19 years. So community service has been part of our lives. that, I'd like to thank you guys for allowing me to be on this committee. It's absolutely a wonderful opportunity to make a change and improvements in what we do for our homeless population.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introduction. And then Adriana, do you want to introduce our housing intern or?
I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Hi, my name is Eliana Whiting, and I'm halfway through my senior year at Northern Arizona University. In the spring, I'll be graduating with my Bachelor's of Science in Political Science with an emphasis in international affairs. I started interning for the City of Flagstaff Housing section because I met Adriana and Justina because they were community partners with a program that I enrolled in that's called Community University Public Inquiry. And I just kind of met with them through that and never left them alone since then. So I'm super excited to be here and just learn more about what you all do and experience this part of you do. So yeah.
Well, welcome. Okay, and so then moving on to general business number B, that makes sense, letter B. It's an overview of water conservation residential programming. It's an information item only, and I believe I'm turning it over to Tamara Lawless, the water conservation manager for the city of Flagstaff.
Yes.
Oh, you're here, sorry. I was looking for you online, so.
All good.
Welcome.
Should I stand or how should?
Yeah, there's the podium.
Yeah, okay. It looks like I'm that side of it, so I think that's fine. They probably can't, can they see me on the thing if I stand here?
They can't see you.
The camera's pointed.
It's this way, yeah, I have to like see. I'll wait. Oh, where are the cameras? Okay,
So this guy,
awesome.
do you all mind if we just have the one screen first, for the sake of not playing with technology? Is that fine?
Maybe I'll make sure I can advance. Okay, sweet, thank you. Okay, thanks for having me. My name is Tamara Lawless. I'm the Water Conservation Manager for City of Flagstaff. I've been at City of Flagstaff for a little over 10 years. And I am also a neighbor with Commissioner Zorita, who mentioned in passing that we have not done a presentation for this commission, which I realized looking through my files was true. We have not done here in a long time. So I thought it was a good opportunity to just kind of cover the programming that we offer that kind of intersects with housing. And that way you guys are more informed and you can ask clarifying questions too. Advancing. One thing, there's not very many slides. Maybe the computer is frozen. It's just one of those days. There's siren throws and technical issues. There we go. So our mission is essentially to empower the Flagstaff community to use water efficiently. And we do that through like a variety of initiatives. So we have commercial programming, residential programming, institutional programming. That means, you know, programming and outreach that's for schools or for governments. Some of the things we do on the educational side is just tabling. So we show up at a lot of community events and just talk to people. What is water conservation about? What are some ways we can conserve water? We have partnerships with Project WET, which does K-12 outreach for the FUST schools. You might hear our advertisements on KNAU or other radio stations or see things in the newspaper. Some of the more like technical work that I do is non-revenue water auditing, which basically means the amount of water that the city sells and produces every year are not necessarily the same number. So if I see, oh, we treated 100 gallons and we put it in the system, but my data shows that we only sold 95 of the 100 gallons. What happened to the missing 5 gallons? That's non-revenue water auditing. So that's looking for leaks, figuring out if there's any theft going on, trying to talk to other partners in the city, like the fire department or streets, and saying, how often are we opening the hydrants up and flushing the system or using that water for suppression? So just kind of tracking down that missing water. We also do things like strategic planning and doing things like codes to kind of improve efficiency and behavior in Flagstaff. Slide. Maybe for the next one, I'll try to advance and see if it's working again. So just to give you a sense of some of the special codes that we have for water in Flagstaff. So since the mid-90s, we've had a more strict requirement for toilets. So you have to purchase a 1.3 gallon per flush or lower in Flagstaff, and that's been in place for quite a while. And the federal code is 1.6. So we save, a third of a gallon of flush for every flush with these more efficient toilets. And that's true for new buildings too, new build. We also have a water conservation ordinance, which has been in place since the late 1980s. So you actually have to water every other day based on your address if you're watering outside. So this is the even addresses and odd addresses on the graphic, and nobody should be watering between 9 AM and 5 PM. And that's because those are the hours where we have a ton of evaporation, right? So it's actually not even good for your plants really to water during those peak hours because the water, lands on the soil and then it evaporates so quickly that the plant kind of like tries to reach its roots towards the surface. Like, the water's up there and I couldn't get to it fast enough. So better to water before 9 or after 5 to really like let it soak in and give it some time to kind of keep contact with the soil and soak in. Nobody waters on Mondays, partially just because, there's 7 days of the week and you have to split it evenly, but it also gives our system a chance to kind of reset for all it takes to kind of refill on Mondays, and that keeps the water pressure consistent for us. And then obviously we also have reclaimed water in Flagstaff, so we actually have to use that for golf courses that are in the city. So all of our customers that are a golf course have to use reclaimed water. And then we also use it around town at places like the city parks and some of the school fields. Snowball uses it for snowmaking in the winter, so that helps defer some of that local use as well. This works. I got it. All right, so one of the things I want to talk with you all about is something that we call residential water consultations. So we get these requests to show up to somebody's home and we will go in, our staff will physically measure how much water is coming out of all the different devices. So we'll measure the flows of the faucets, shower heads, check laundry machines, dishwashers, and just give them a report in a sense for here's how much water you're using. So maybe it's a kitchen sink, you can say that one's using 2.2 gallons a minute. That's kind of the federal standard. And we don't usually recommend that people go much lower on a kitchen sink just because you want to be able to fill up a kettle or a pot and not be waiting for 5 minutes to fill. But for something like a bathroom, if we measure that a bathroom sink is using over 2 gallons a minute, we'll say, hey, we've got all kinds of things you can do to lower the usage per minute in this bathroom sink, because if you're just using it to like wet a toothbrush or brush your face or wash your face or brush your teeth, you don't really need like a high flow in a bathroom sink. So we kind of give them that report and we give them recommendations for how they can improve their efficiency. And on that note, so for things that we provide for residential and commercial, if we're talking about like a hotel or something, we provide free high efficiency shower heaters and aerators at any time. So we just essentially order thousands of those every year and we're just pushing them out in the community. Have a high efficiency shower head, or we'll even install it for you. We'll, unscrew your old one and screw a new one back on. Same with aerators. So an aerator is like a tiny device that you pop in a faucet that adds bubbles. And so the flow volume kind of feels the same, but some of it's air. And so you're reducing the total amount of water that you're using. So an aerator is just like a tiny device we can pop into a sink faucet and improve the efficiency. We provide a $100 rebate for premium efficiency toilets. So that's a toilet that uses 1.1 gallons of flush or lower. And we also require that it has a high max score, they're called, which is basically just like the flush power, how much like solid can be removed at once. Because you hear people saying like, I don't want a high efficiency toilet. Like I saw one in the 90s. I had to flush it 3 times every time. It was no good. I just want, a toilet that works. And the technology has gotten a ton better, especially over the last 10, 15 years. And looking at that max score, making sure it's a really high, like flush effectiveness score, make sure that it's going to work really well. We also have some rainwater harvesting programming. So we give out rain barrels for free. They're retrofitted from Joy-Con, so the local ice cream cone manufacturer. They have barrels that have things like vanilla in them or like soy lecithin, and then we do some community partnerships to just convert those into rain barrels and give those out. And people attend a rainwater harvesting workshop with us for that too. Or we also offer a rebate if they install a big system, so 1,000 gallons or more. If they install a big system like that, we rebate up to 50% of the cost of that. Part of the reason why we don't go lower on the gallons for the rebate for rainwater harvesting is a little bit controversial in the water conservation world. A lot of the data shows that if somebody just puts in like a 55-gallon drum, that their consumption often goes up. And some of the thought behind that is that somebody gets a rain barrel, maybe they're really excited about it, and so they plant like a new tree or a new shrub, and then we hit that dry period, you know, in Flagstaff, usually like May, June gets kind of hot and dry. Your rain barrel's not full anymore. You don't want the plant that you just purchased to die, right? So then you're using the water with your potable system and you're maybe increasing your consumption. So we see more savings when people do like a big system, like 1,000 gallons or more, then that doesn't like empty during those drier periods. So we want to encourage, if they're gonna go that route, to do a bigger system if possible. And so with our free rain barrels, we try to really kind of drill that information home when they do the workshop and say, hey, you know, just so you know, you might see your consumption go up if you don't kind of do appropriate planning with the barrel, but here are some other ways you can conserve water. You can get like a more high efficiency toilet. We can come do a consult. We can check your fixtures, like your shower heads and your sinks, and kind of get into some of our other programming. We also offer a rebate for low water landscaping. So we give $1 back for every square foot of lawn that somebody converts from lawn over to a low water landscape. That does not include artificial turf. So we don't rebate people to just convert from to plastic. And partially that's just an environmental consideration, since, you know, turf that is artificial probably eventually still ends up in the landfill. So it's like it's a solution that ends up with more waste, and also because there's not co-benefits for the ecosystem. So if somebody converts their lawn to plants that are native to Flagstaff or are low water, there's still benefits for insects and local pollinators. But if it's just going to, you know, a plastic carpet, there's not really benefits for the local environment. So we require like about 50% of the new landscape is low water plants, and then the rest they can kind of do a mix of mulch and rock. And we help walk them through that process. We also do something called residential irrigation consultation. So if somebody does have a lawn, they love their lawn, they want to keep it, that's great, but we'll at least come and make sure that you don't have any leaks in your system, that the spray heads are irrigating properly and evenly, that they're on the right schedule, right? We'll make sure that they're not watering between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and that they're on the right days. We can even give them an approximate water budget. So according to our calculations, you have this many square feet of turf or lawn. Here's how much water ballpark we think you should be using, and we can kind of look at their usage data and say, it looks like maybe you're using a little too much or a little bit too little. So I also wanted to mention that we're working on launching an income qualified program for local homeowners that would do leak repairs and efficiency upgrades. So this is in partnership with housing. It's using CDBG grant funds, and essentially for income qualifying homeowners in Flagstaff, we would provide 100% covered efficiency upgrades. So upgrades for things like toilets and faucets, shower heads, even laundry machines, dishwashers. And also if they have like a sudden leak that needs to be repaired, we would cover that, the cost of fixing that leak 100%. So, you know, we had a situation last year where somebody had an in-ground leak, like between the meter and their house. If the leak is after the meter, so if it's in the property of your yard, between the meter and your house, you are liable for that leak. And those types of leaks can be extremely, extremely expensive. So we had a homeowner, you know, last year that had one of these in-ground leaks, very expensive. We're talking thousands of dollars a month for her water bill. And she just was having a hard time getting the money together to fix that leak. This is the type of situation that we'd be able to help that person with that leak rapidly and cover it from grant funds. So we're kind of in the like paperwork stage on this, hoping to launch it like in early 2024. And then I also wanted to mention, you know, from a housing perspective, that our section, so the Water Resources and Conservation section, does the work on planning kind of long-term water supply. So the head of our section, Erin Young, she's kind of the boss of looking at the 100-year supplies. So City of Flagstaff goals to always know where our water is coming from for the next 100 years. And that takes the regional plan into consideration. So we look at the map and we say, okay, we know all the parts of our town that are zoned for housing or zoned for commercial. Let's pretend all of those are built out in the next however many years. Do we have the water to meet the needs of all those customers? And, you know, what do we need to do to meet those needs? So you see, like, you know, the newspaper article here that shows that we, you know, drilled a well recently in Fort Chat Hill. So adding extra wells to our capacity and looking at those long-term supplies. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have reclaimed water that meets some of those needs, but we also pump groundwater and we also have surface water. So Lake Mary is our surface water supply, and then we also pump groundwater from wells, mostly around the Flagstaff area. So that's where all the water comes from. So that's my, quick presentation on the things that we do that kind of relates to what you guys do. And I'm also happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none in the room, any online, Adriana? None. I have one question for you, Tamara. I'm wondering if somebody is interested in trying to schedule a residential water consultation, how or who do they contact?
Yeah, one easy way is just email our team. The email address is savewater@flagstaff.ac.gov. And we can get you scheduled. Let me see if I can remember our phone number off the top of my head. I think it's 928-216-2116. I think. I'm 90% sure. But that's our general line.
But savewater@flagstaffaz.gov.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes to our whole team.
Perfect. All right. Cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Okay, item number 8 is informational items to and from commission members, staff, and future agenda item requests. So A is update from Housing Authority Liaison, and I know Commissioner Milazzo is not here today. My understanding is that there is not a Housing Authority update, right, Adriana?
Correct.
Okay. All right, moving on then to update from housing commissioners and other informational items. Does any commissioner have something that they'd like to share with the commission today? On here, it's weird to have to like check multiple places, so I apologize. Anything online, Adriana?
No.
All right, last chance for commission members online to let us know you want to tell us something. Okay. And then item B is update from housing staff. So is there a particular staff person, people taking this? Is it Jim?
Oh, yeah, I can jump in. This is Jennifer for anybody online. I just wanted to give 2 really brief updates about a couple of projects we have going on. The second starter home that is being built on city property right off of Butler. You guys may have been noticing that. That is about finished, and we had a dedication in the last couple weeks for the new buyer for that unit, but we do not have a close of escrow date officially. It's coming soon, so that's super close to being finished. And the rental incentive bond program that we came to you guys in October with, right? Yes, September.
September.
Yes, that was formally adopted by council on November 7th, so barely a month ago. And in these last couple weeks, we've been working on the NOFA, getting that written and drafted and putting our brains together, trying to get that all figured out. So again, I don't have any official dates yet on the NOFA release and all of that stuff. We're just compiling it all. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't say NOFA, I should say notice of funding availability for those bond funds for rental projects. So more coming. We're in the sorting phase right now. That's just like my life right now. Everything's shoveled.
Is it okay if I go next?
Go ahead, Christine.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah.
I just have a couple of updates. First, we presented to you guys last month, I believe, about the homeless services or homeless shelter and services funds from the Arizona Department of Housing. We will be presenting those to council, those recommendations to city council on December 19th. We had a little bit of a delay, and then we have reserved January 16th council meeting to have those contracts formally approved, and then we can get notice to proceeds to our agency partners. Another update is that we are going to be starting our community development block grant public participation cycle. So I'll be sending out some dates about that. We'll start with a meeting with our target neighborhood associations to kind of get their perspective on how they'd like to see grant funds used in the community and in their neighborhoods. Then we will do a public meeting with all that are interested in applying. And another public meeting after we receive applications to kind of give the community a rundown of of what applications or proposals came in, what the city is considering asking for funds for. And then we'll do our ranking committee. So one of the things that we could use help from the commission for is just any volunteers who might be interested in being a part of that ranking committee, reading and evaluating proposals, and then meeting with us for about a half a day to discuss those different proposals. And then we will be bringing recommendations to you in either late March, probably not the April meeting, it'll probably be the March meeting, and then we'll go to council in April. So the annual action plan is due to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development by May 15th. So that's kind of our big spring project. So you'll be hearing a lot about it. And one more update, the housing section is really excited. We're working on implementing a new software that will allow us to kind of better track data and have a public facing application process with ranking. It's called Neighborly. So we're working really hard right now to kind of transition ourselves from file folders on a shared drive over to an actual software. We're really excited. So that's kind of what staff is working on.
Awesome. Thank you, Christine. And then is it also accurate to say that council has approved changes to down payment and closing cost assistance programs?
Oh my gosh, how did I forget to mention that? Yes, so council approved on their October 17th meeting the changes that we proposed to the community homebuyer housing assistance program and the employer assisted housing program. So we can send flyers out that Devana's organization Housing Solutions has made kind of advertising that, but there is now up to $40,000 in funding available for community members that are first-time homebuyers and income eligible. And the income limits are actually much higher than a lot of times folks realize. So I hear all the time, oh, I'm probably not eligible. And I say, oh, well, look, you might be surprised. And they're surprised. They do qualify. So if you know folks who are low to moderate income, first-time homebuyers who could use a little extra help, send them Devana's way.
Yeah. And I am happy to report that since those program changes were implemented, we have 2 City of Flagstaff employees under contract to purchase and 1 community member under contract to purchase. So we've seen increased interest in the program since it was adjusted to better reflect market needs, market conditions, I guess. So yeah, cool.
Awesome, thank you.
If you want any of those flyers, they're also on the Housing Solutions website too, or EAH or the Community Homebuyer Assistance Program. Okay, any other staff updates?
Related to, Chair.
Yeah, sorry, Adriana.
Thank you. Related to what Councilmember House said earlier, we did have a sticker design contest in October. We announced 8-year-old Arlo as the winner. You'll see his little adorable face all over social media. And related to that, we are handing out these stickers, and the people here are able to see them, but I'm showing them off right now. And if you're not here today, feel free to let me know, and I'm happy to deliver some stickers your way so that you can distribute within your networks. We ordered another batch, so we have plenty to share. And I think that's it for me.
Yep.
And
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very, very much. And then if there are any other comments that folks would like, I know it said it in the big agenda item for 8, but not in A, B, or C, any future agenda item requests. So I'll just throw that out to the commission. If there's anything you wanted to ask about seeing in the future. I'm looking up there to see if there's anyone popping up with a Q or a C that I don't see, but I don't. Okay, so, all right, well, with that being said, it looks like we're at the end of our meeting today. So I appreciate you all being here and look forward to working with you in 2024, which is crazy that it's right around the corner. But we will meet together next month, and at this time, I'll adjourn the meeting, and it is 1:38 p.m. So thank you all. Have a great rest of your month. Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.